Now that we've seen what an enterprise structure is, let's now get our hands dirty and do the configuration. In this video, I am going to create a brand new plant and assign it to a company code. Hopefully you've seen my previous video about the SAP GUI, so this SAP screen shouldn't be much of a surprise. Let's jump straight into the configuration. So I am going to use the transaction SPRO and go straight to the SAP configuration screen. So as shown before, let me put the transaction into the text box on the top here and press enter. And as you can see, I am going to choose the SAP reference IMG. And this is usually, once I go in here, this is what you call SAP configuration. This is where you would do all of the configuration for everything in SAP. So we have lots and lots of configuration, but let's have a look at the enterprise structure first. So let's open this up, and there's two main options. The first is the definition. Now, the definition means that I am going to create this object, right? So we will create the plant, we'll create the company code, all in the definition. The assignment is where we link them together, i.e. I will assign a plant to a company code. So now let me open up the definition menu. You can see here we have lots of sub-menus or objects, and it's actually the same in the assignment. So under each one we could create the objects that are relevant to, let's say, sales and distribution or material management. So now let's go ahead and create a new plant. The plant configuration is in the logistics general, define, copy, delete, and check plant. So I'm going to execute that, and you see two main transactions here. The first is the define plant, and the second is the copy, delete, and check plant. The define plant allows you to see the values in the plants that already exist. So we're going to go ahead and do that first, just to see what the values are for a particular plant. I'm going to select the first one, click on details, and as you can see here, we have the number of the plant, the name of the plant, and the address. As you can see right at the bottom, we have the factory calendar, and this factory calendar says what is the working days and non-working days of a plant. So as you can see here now, as we said before, this is how we control the behavior of the plant by the configuration. So let's go back, and rather than create a brand new one from the start, we're just going to copy plant 001 into our new plant that we want to call SCM1. So I'm going to copy that, click on OK. It'll ask me if I want to transport the number ranges. I'll say no in this case, but obviously you can say yes if it requires to. And the new plant has been copied based on 001. So let's go back. Let's have a look again in the define plant and search for the new plant that we have created. So if we go in, we can now change the name, SCM plant, and name 2, I'll also put in SCM2. Click on the details, and as you can see, we have the right names, and we also have the option to save. So I'm going to save that, and now we've done defining our plant. So the plant has been created. It's now time to assign this plant to the company code. If we now go back to the configuration menu, you can see that we have the definition. And if we open the same menu in the assignment, we now have here the option to assign the plant to the company code. And SAP opens the menu here, and you have multiple entries here. Let's go and have a look. Let's find our plant to see if it's been assigned to anything, and nothing. The plant has not been assigned to any company code. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy an entry that is very similar to ours. So I want our plant to be assigned to company code 005. So I just highlight one, I copy that. I now make a new entry for our plant, and I press enter. So now the assignment has been done.
company code 005 has been assigned to SEM1, and I save my entry. Now that I have assigned the plant to a company code, I just want to show you a little bit more. So as you can see here, I've assigned the plant to the company code. If we were opened the sales organization, we can see we can assign the sales organization to the company code. We can assign the distribution channel to the sales organization. But notice down here, there's quite a lot more of assignments. I'm not going to cover those because that's really done by the sales and distribution people. We really want to have a look at only at the supply chain definitions, which if we were to go into logistics execution, we can see here, this is where we assign the warehouse to the plant and storage location and assign the shipping points to the plant. In my later lectures, I'll be showing you how to assign a warehouse to a plant and storage location and how we assign a shipping point to a plant. But that is for later. I hope you now have a good understanding of the enterprise structure and how to configure it.
One final tip before we close out this lecture. You notice that when I created the plant, I actually copied it from a previous plant. This is actually the better way of configuring, because when you copy something, the system copies all of the settings in case you miss something, or in case you don't know something, the setting is already there. Also, sometimes in the background, the system will actually create some other configuration settings that you don't know about. For example, the number ranges and so forth. So my tip is, when you create a new enterprise structure, always copy it from something very close to what you want.